You know that moment when you look in the mirror and feel like nothing you're doing is working? You cut calories, try fasting, do countless crunches, but the belly stays right there, as if it's glued on. I've been through that. And that's exactly when I realized what I was doing wrong. The issue wasn't effort, it was the strategy. Most people target the wrong thing. They focus on losing weight on the scale, but ignore the real triggers behind belly fat. Things like eating too often, poor sleep, and foods that seem healthy but only inflame your body. When I shifted that, everything started to make sense. Instead of more sweat, I needed smarter choices. I had to understand the two types of fat and how the body reacts to certain habits and foods. That gave me freedom. And more importantly, lasting results. Today, I'm sharing everything in an exclusive guide we created just for you, with a simple, effective approach that's not extreme. A lot of people are using it and taking advantage while it's still available for a limited time. When we think of our abdominal muscles, the image that often comes to mind is the coveted six-pack. This visible, sculpted look has become the ultimate symbol of fitness for many. However, focusing solely on aesthetics misses the true purpose of our core. These muscles are not just for show, they form a powerful and intricate support system for our entire body. They act like a natural corset, wrapping around our torso to protect our internal organs and stabilize our spine. Every time you bend over to tie your shoes, lift a bag of groceries, or even just stand up straight, it is your core muscles that are providing the stability and strength needed to perform these simple movements safely and efficiently. The core is composed of several layers of muscle, not just the rectus abdominis, which creates the six-pack effect. Deeper inside you have the transverse abdominis, which wraps around your midsection like a belt, and the obliques, which run along your sides and help you twist and bend. These muscles work together in harmony to support your posture. A strong core helps prevent slouching, which can lead to back pain and other musculoskeletal issues over time. Without this muscular support, your spine would be under immense strain, making you more vulnerable to injury during everyday activities. Therefore, training your core is essential for functional fitness, not just for looking good at the beach. Furthermore, having a weak core can lead to a cascade of problems throughout the body. Poor spinal support can contribute to chronic lower back pain, a very common complaint that affects millions of people. It can also affect your balance and stability, increasing your risk of falls, especially as you get older. Even your breathing can be affected, as the diaphragm, a key muscle for respiration, is connected to the core. By strengthening these foundational muscles, you are not just working towards a flatter stomach. You are building a more resilient, functional, and pain-free body that will serve you well for years to come. So, instead of just chasing a visible six-pack with endless crunches, it is far more beneficial to focus on exercises that strengthen the entire core. Movements like planks, bird dog exercises, and Pilates are excellent for engaging those deeper, stabilizing muscles. This comprehensive approach will not only improve your posture and reduce your risk of injury, but will also help create a naturally tighter and more toned midsection. A strong, functional core is the true foundation of a healthy body, and its benefits extend far beyond what you can see in the mirror. It is a fundamental component of overall well-being. Not all belly fat is created equal. When we talk about the fat around our midsection, we are actually referring to two distinct types, each with different characteristics and health implications. The first type is subcutaneous fat. This is the fat that lies just beneath the skin, the kind you can physically pinch with your fingers. While many of us may not like the appearance of this wobbly fat, it is generally less harmful from a medical perspective. It serves as an energy reserve and helps to insulate our bodies. For most people, subcutaneous fat is primarily a cosmetic concern rather than a major health threat, although having too much of it can still contribute to overall weight issues. The second, and far more dangerous type of fat is visceral fat. This fat is located deep within the abdominal cavity, where it surrounds our vital organs like the liver, pancreas, and intestines. You cannot see or pinch visceral fat, which is why it is often called hidden fat. Someone can appear relatively slim on the outside but still have a significant amount of visceral fat packed around their organs. This is a serious health concern because visceral fat is metabolically active. It releases inflammatory substances and hormones that can interfere with the normal functioning of our bodies, disrupting hormonal balance and increasing our risk for chronic diseases. The presence of high levels of visceral fat is strongly linked to a range of serious health problems. It is a major risk factor for type 2 diabetes, as it can increase insulin resistance, making it harder for our bodies to regulate blood sugar levels. It also contributes to high blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, and an increased risk of heart disease and stroke. Scientists now understand that visceral fat is not just a passive storage depot. It is an active organ that churns out harmful chemicals. This is why a person's waist circumference can be a more accurate indicator of health risk than their overall weight or body mass index. Fortunately, there is some good news. Visceral fat, despite being the more dangerous of the two, is often the first to go when you start making positive changes to your diet and lifestyle. Because it is so metabolically active, it responds very well to dietary interventions, particularly those that reduce sugar and refined carbohydrates. Exercise is also incredibly effective at targeting this hidden fat. So, while you may be motivated by the desire to reduce the pinchable subcutaneous fat, the most significant health benefits will come from shedding the unseen visceral fat that is silently wreaking havoc on your internal systems. One of the most effective strategies for targeting dangerous visceral fat is adopting a lower carbohydrate diet. When we consume excess carbohydrates, particularly refined sugars and starches, our bodies convert them into glucose for energy. Any glucose that is not immediately used is stored as glycogen in our muscles and liver. However, these storage tanks have a limited capacity. Once they are full, the liver begins converting the excess glucose into fat through a process called de novo lipogenesis. This newly created fat is then stored in and around the liver, leading to a condition known as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and also gets packaged up and stored as visceral fat around your abdomen. Remarkably, this process can be reversed quite quickly. When you significantly reduce your carbohydrate intake, your body is forced to turn to its stored fuel reserves. First, it will use up the glycogen stored in the liver. This can happen within just a day or two of starting a low-carb diet. As the liver's glycogen stores are depleted, it then starts to burn the fat that has been stored within it for energy. This leads to a rapid reduction in liver fat, which is a fantastic outcome for your long-term health. Because a fatty liver is a major driver of visceral fat storage, shrinking it is a critical first step in reducing your waistline. Scientific studies have provided compelling evidence for this rapid effect. In one study I was involved with for a BBC documentary, we put individuals with type 2 diabetes and fatty liver disease on a low-carbohydrate, calorie-controlled diet. Using advanced MRI scans, we were able to measure the amount of fat in their livers before and after the intervention. In a matter of weeks, we saw dramatic reductions in liver fat. In some cases, it was reduced by as much as 50%. This not only improved their blood sugar control but also led to a significant decrease in their waist measurements, confirming the direct link between liver fat and belly size. This initial rapid loss of belly size when starting a low-carb diet can be incredibly motivating. Much of it is due to the loss of water that is stored alongside glycogen, but a significant portion is also due to the reduction of actual fat in and around the liver. This isn't just a temporary water weight trick. It's a fundamental metabolic shift that sets the stage for sustained fat loss. By cutting back on sugar, bread, pasta, and potatoes, you are directly addressing the root cause of visceral fat accumulation. This makes a low-carb approach a powerful tool, not just for aesthetics, but for profoundly improving your metabolic health from the inside out. To effectively reduce belly fat, it is crucial to eat foods that support your body's natural fat-burning processes, rather than hindering them. The key is to focus on nutrients that help regulate the hormones responsible for fat storage, particularly insulin. Protein is a superstar in this regard. Including a good source of protein in every meal, such as eggs, fish, lean meat, or legumes, can have a powerful effect on your metabolism and appetite. Protein is more satiating than carbohydrates or fats, meaning it helps you feel fuller for longer. This reduces the likelihood of overeating or reaching for unhealthy snacks between meals, naturally lowering your overall calorie intake. Furthermore, your body uses more energy to digest protein compared to other macronutrients, a phenomenon known as the thermic effect of food. This means that simply by eating a high-protein diet, you can give your metabolism a slight boost, helping you burn a few extra calories throughout the day. Hormonally, protein has a minimal impact on insulin levels. By keeping insulin low and stable, you allow another important hormone, glucagon, to do its job. Glucagon signals to your body that it is time to release stored energy from your fat cells, including the stubborn visceral fat, to be used as fuel. This creates the ideal hormonal environment for fat loss. Alongside protein, it's important to fill your plate with non-starchy vegetables and healthy fats. Leafy greens like spinach and kale, as well as vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, and bell peppers, are packed with fiber and nutrients, but are very low in carbohydrates. The fiber helps to slow down digestion, further contributing to feelings of fullness and helping to stabilize blood sugar levels. Healthy fats found in foods like avocados, nuts, seeds, and olive oil are also essential. They provide sustained energy and are crucial for the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins, without causing the insulin spike associated with refined carbohydrates. Therefore, a fat-burning meal might look something like a piece of grilled salmon, served with a large portion of steamed broccoli and a side salad drizzled with olive oil, or perhaps scrambled eggs with spinach and avocado for breakfast. These meals are designed to be delicious and satisfying while simultaneously programming your body to burn fat for energy. By choosing these kinds of whole, unprocessed foods, you provide your body with the high-quality fuel it needs to function optimally, helping you to shed belly fat and improve your overall health in a sustainable and enjoyable way. If protein and healthy fats are the heroes in the story of belly fat loss, then refined carbohydrates and sugar are undoubtedly the villains. Foods like white bread, pastries, pasta, sugary cereals, and sweetened drinks are absorbed into the bloodstream very quickly, causing a rapid and dramatic spike in your blood sugar levels. To manage this sudden influx of sugar, your pancreas is forced to release a large amount of the hormone insulin. Insulin's primary job is to move sugar out of the bloodstream and into your cells to be used for energy. However, it also has another more troublesome function. It is a fat storage hormone. When insulin levels are high, it sends a powerful signal to your body to stop burning fat for fuel and start storing it instead. It essentially flips a switch, turning your body from a fat-burning machine into a fat-storing one. Any excess sugar that your cells don't immediately need for energy is converted into fat, much of which ends up as visceral fat in your abdomen. This means that even if you are carefully controlling your calorie intake, a diet high in refined carbs can make it nearly impossible to lose belly fat. You're constantly fighting against your own hormones, which are working to pack on more fat around your middle. The problem is compounded by the fact that the blood sugar spike is often followed by a rapid crash. After the initial surge, insulin works so effectively that it can push your blood sugar levels too low. This crash triggers intense cravings for more sugary, high-carb foods, creating a vicious cycle of spikes, crashes, and cravings. This makes it incredibly difficult to stick to a healthy eating plan. You find yourself battling constant hunger and a powerful urge to eat the very foods that are contributing to your belly fat problem. It's a hormonal roller coaster that sabotages your best intentions and keeps you trapped in a cycle of fat storage. To break free from this trap, it is essential to minimize your intake of these foods. This doesn't mean you can never enjoy a slice of cake again, but it does mean that refined carbs should be a rare treat rather than a daily staple. By replacing white bread with whole grain alternatives in moderation, sugary drinks with water, and processed snacks with whole foods like nuts or fruit, you can keep your insulin levels low and stable. This simple change can be one of the most powerful steps you take towards flattening your belly, as it allows your body to finally switch back into fat-burning mode.